These are the most finicky plants probably on the entire planet. And they're pretty, which is why we all buy them. They're not expensive, so they're like $14.99. Hi, welcome to the House of Valentina. I'm Valentina, and today we are talking about the best and the worst houseplants. If you are new to this channel, we love to talk about all things related to the home. We love renovating, decorating, we love traveling, and bringing adventure home is kind of our thing. So if that is your thing and you haven't hit subscribe, please do. And we are doing an entire garden week. And of course it seemed appropriate that since so much of the garden has been outside, let's bring this thing inside, especially since it's raining outside today, and what could be more perfect? We've talked about artificial plants in the past, good fakes, bad fakes, and everything in between. So today I thought it'd be really fun to talk about the indoor plants that we've had the most success with and the ones that we've had really bad luck with. I definitely need to add this disclaimer that we are not people with green thumbs. So actually, we're really bad with plants. No plant has ever said that it has been overloved in our house. It is a good thing that these are not our actual children, because I'm pretty sure someone would have to call somebody on us, because yeah, plants are very neglected with us because we're very busy, and I think that that's something that probably most of you would understand. Life is busy. Whether you have kids at home or not, or you have pets or work, or just something better to do than to care for something else, these plants, I think, should help you find some really good low maintenance options. And I think it'll help you avoid the ones that are just way too needy and just you can't be bothered with. So let's start on a positive note, okay? I was like, should we go back and forth? Should we start all good and then go all bad? I'm like, maybe we'll just alternate. Let's just alternate. Okay, let's start with a good one. Okay, I've gathered them all up over here. It's quite a jungle in here at the moment. I didn't realize I had as many plants in my house as I thought, which means that some of them really aren't getting watered. Okay, now this guy has gotten very, very, very big. This is pretty amazing. So I've owned this since we got back from Denmark. So we've been back for about 4 years, and I bought this pretty soon afterwards. And despite the fact that I can't grow a single thing very well, as you can tell, it's gotten huge. And I've actually taken clippings off of this. This is the, oh, I'm gonna have to set it down. Oh, I already worked out this morning, so my muscles are like, whoa, 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 we've already worked out, excuse me. Yeah, so this MONSTERA is amazing. And I'll show you as well. I've taken clippings off of it, and it roots really, really, really well. So whether you want to plant it, and honestly, I hardly water it. It should be watered more than it gets watered, but these plants are they're drought resistant, which is perfect for my house because I forget to water things. So I need a plant that tells me, hey, I'm thirsty, woman. And this one droops a little bit, you know, like every few weeks. I mean, I really genuinely neglect it, and it still lives. But as you can see, this was one little piece, and it has created a whole new little thing here. So I think these are really great plants because not only can you enjoy this one and keep it alive pretty easily, it starts to droop, you give it water, it pops right back up. It's perfect. Okay, next up is the one that you guys are always asking me about. And I am so proud of myself because I have kept this thing alive for almost, oh my gosh, I think it's been at least 3 months. I think it's been about, maybe even longer actually. I got it when I redid my sunroom, and I've killed it just about twice. These are the most finicky plants probably on the entire planet. And they're pretty, which is why we all buy them. They're not expensive, so they're like $14.99. And the thing is that they go brown. They start brown underneath, and that's just gross. I don't like it, and I really like my stuff to look like it's, you know, living if I'm gonna bother displaying it. So it gets these like stringy bits. Oh, look there. Yeah, you can see how much I paid. $14.99 for a 6.5 inch fern. So you know what? I've actually managed to keep this alive, but Louie's come for a visit. So I've actually managed to keep this alive, which is nothing short of a miracle because I've killed several of these already. But they like to be in a very shady area. They do not like any sun, apparently, and they like to be kept damp, which is not my thing, as you might imagine, since I'm sitting here telling you I forget to water things. But I've got a trick that has kept this one alive. Let me show you what it is. This little baby, you fill it up with water. You can unclog the little end, but you fill it up with water and then you stick it in and the plant waters itself. Hello, why? You know what, honestly, I should have one of these for every plant in my house. Like, yeah, we should just agree. I should probably get one of these for every plant in my house since clearly I have issues with, you know, watering them before they're on death's door. But this is the most amazing invention and it has actually kept this thing alive. I've never had one live this long. I swear, like, why would you buy one of these? Like, anytime you can ask my close friends and they will say, oh yeah, she's like, oh, what's that plant? Don't buy it. Don't buy it. You'll hate yourself for it unless you want to water it every single day and keep a close eye on it. And it wants to be like, its leaves spritzed. It is so needy. It is so needy. If you have a lot of love to give to this world and no one to throw that energy at, get one of these. Maidenhair ferns. Otherwise, skip it. The next one is a geranium, and I adore these geraniums. Now, this is not the geranium the way it came. They're a lot fuller and fluffier, but if you keep them indoors, they will have some leaves that will dry out, especially if you don't water them. And you just pull those off, and you can tell, because it's a little bit droopy, that it's in need of water. Well, that's perfect. I love something with this really cool texture, and this actually came from Copenhagen, but there is a place that I can show you that sells these in the US. One day in my shop, we're gonna have these available to you. But until then, you'll definitely, I'll leave a link to where you can find them. But these are awesome, and they just become like an art piece, and they're genius. I love the geraniums. I love these. Mom, what's the name of this plant? Okay, while I wait for my mom to respond, let me show you what I'm talking about. So, I actually took this one outside because I was so tired of trying to get this thing to live indoors. In fact, it has gone for a visit to my mom's house because I was like, take this thing away. It has just enough will to live to not die, but not enough will to live to actually thrive, especially in my house. It likes a lot of water. It likes to be damp, and it's actually doing pretty well. And you know why? Because it's been outside where it rains a lot, and it likes to be in the shade. So yeah, it's beautiful, which is why I bought it. But they sell these puppies in the indoor plant section, and it does not like being inside. It does not like being inside. It likes to be in a warm, I was gonna say the M word, moist. It likes to be damp, damp and shady, and it's quite heavy because it poured last night, and look at how happy it is. Yeah, so yeah, these are awesome. Let's see if my mom responded to me. She says a geranium. It's not a geranium. It's not a geranium. Oh, it's gonna drive me nuts. I will pop it up on the screen, and yeah. It's not an impatient either. Geranium. Okay, you guys are like, I know what that is. You're like, come on, Valentina, I can tell you. Okay, so don't buy these unless you're gonna put them outside. These they're not happy indoors. Okay, so this one's gonna be hard to pick up. Yeah. Okay. This one is my fig, and oh my goodness, I gotta put it down. Hiya! Okay, the figs are awesome. They really do thrive inside. I keep them in the house all winter. They don't like to be shocked going from inside to outside, but I've had 3 so far that I've put out in the ground. So you have to choose your day wisely, otherwise they really don't feel very happy. Eventually they get huge, and they just do really well. They really grow well. The leaves will start to droop a little bit like the geranium, where you just see like a little droop and you know to water it, and it's perfect. They grow really well in Mediterranean climates. So if you think about a Mediterranean climate, generally it's a little bit arid and it doesn't rain so much. So that's why this does really well inside. It does like to be near sunlight. It thrives if you can put it near a window with sunlight. But these are the plants that are actually living in my house, and I've had these for a long time. So I really recommend the fig, and all varieties of figs I've had good luck with. Our next no-go is the beautiful, beautiful orchid. Guys, this was so pretty a few weeks ago, and I totally forgot to water it. And this is just it. Once it hasn't been watered, it's gone. Like you can't bring it back. It won't rebloom anytime soon. Now, I will say that if you are patient, and I've been patient, I had these lined up in my bathroom along my tub area in Copenhagen, and they will actually rebloom. So if you're a patient person, this is a great one for you. And if you are a person that loves to see a beautiful bloom and then you're okay with it not having a bloom for quite some time, this is another good one. However, if you are the type of person that wants to see something pretty all the time, just skip it. And these are not terribly forgiving. So yeah, I think they're more forgiving than a lot of people say they are. But you know, I've heard the ice cube trick where you put an ice cube in here and it melts and it gives it just the right amount. I've heard all kinds of theories. I know that they aren't the worst to keep up with, but there's a reason I don't buy very many of them. I know I'm being way too honest, but when it doesn't have a bloom on it, it's ugly to me. So they actually gave this one to me as a gift at the store, which is the only reason I have an orchid in my house, because generally I don't buy them because they're just too much work. And yeah, but I actually really enjoy this one. But you can see I've already got brown leaves down here. Yeah, this is a no-go for me. You guys let me know if you think it's worth the effort or not. The SHEFFLERA is probably one of the best houseplants, may actually be the best houseplant out of everything from today. These are so resilient. Okay, like, let me show you how bad this is. It's literally not even planted. It has that much will to live. I'm telling you, if it lives in my house, it will live anywhere. I meant to plant it and then I kind of forgot. Yeah, I told you I'm a bad plant mom. But I've actually got these growing in water. You can take a piece off of it and stick it in water and it will water itself, which is generally what I do with the SHEFFLERA. But they just have an incredible will to live. It's very inspiring. I feel like I can learn a lot from the SHEFFLERA. So I highly recommend it. I think you should absolutely buy one of these. If you're trying to think of the very first house plant, get this one. This guy will definitely take you through some hard times. He will stick with you when you forget him. Yeah, I'm realizing that I'm just really a very awful, awful plant mom. But yeah, these are amazing, and I think that you'll really like these. They live in low light, they live in higher light areas. I don't think I'd necessarily put it like where the sun is beaming in on it. I actually have this SHEFFLERA tree back here, which a lot of you ask me about. It's sitting in my office and it's not happy in this shady environment. I think it needs more sun, so I've got to move it. Oh, I know, I feel so bad. Okay, so, okay, I'm gonna put this on the no-go list because I actually gave the tree away. Isn't that fair to put it on the no-go list if I gave it away? So my neighbor was moving and they had their ficus or weepy, I think they call it weeping fig is another name for these, which sounds way cooler than a ficus, because ficus has such a bad reputation. Nobody wants to buy a ficus anymore. But a weeping fig, oh, that sounds very nice. Yes, so you can see the incredible amount of rooting that has happened, which tells me that this thing has a will to live. It just wasn't happy in our house. That my neighbor had had that plant, that tree, for 30 years, and I almost killed it. So my neighbor, who lives next door to the neighbors that moved, came and took it away, and it's flourishing in her house because she's one of the kindest, most loveliest, nurturing people I've ever known in my life. Seriously, like, you would love her. She's beautiful and lovely inside and out. And so I'm gonna put this on the no-go list, although she has kept it alive, and it has kept itself alive if all I do is give it water. So maybe if you give it water, you'd be okay. But it's still too stringy in general. I like a big leafy plant generally. So this is just kind of like, yeah, it's not my favorite. My final favorite for the day is the philodendron. And technically the first one I showed you. Yeah, so this guy is trying to have his moment here on camera. And these are actually both philodendron. They are just a different variety. It's weird because it lives without a lot of water. However, it thrives with a lot of water too. So either way, these plants have an incredible will to live that I think is awe-inspiring. And I think that they are pretty. They look cool. All my Scandinavian friends introduced me to these. I think I actually bought some of these at IKEA. That's where I learned about them, and I've been amazed, so I highly recommend these. Finally, on my no-go list is the peace lily. The peace lily has a will to live, and it is amazing. However, it doesn't bounce back the way that these other ones do. And I just get so tired of it. It really requires more water than any of the other plants, and once it's gone brown, it's just hard to bring it back. And it's just annoying. It's just an annoying plant. I know some of you are gonna be like, oh, it has the word peace in it. How can you be so mean? Because I take care of it all the time and it drives me nuts. I've actually thought about throwing it in the trash. I mean, I won't actually do that, but I will give it to somebody else. I don't wanna give my problems to somebody else, but this guy, I just find it to be annoying. So it gets like this, and I will water it in a minute when I don't have to carry it because it will be too heavy then to really carry around. But it does have a will to live. I would say pass on this and go with the philodendron before this, because the philodendron, they do typically cost just a little bit more, but like $5, and you're not having to look at brown, droopy, ugh. And they have to be watered. These have to be watered a lot more than the philodendron do. So I say pass on this one, go with one of the other ones. If you do happen to have a lot of love to give and more time to focus on watering things, the peace lily really is a great option. I do think that maybe they're poisonous to dogs. I don't know. That's another thing I always worry about. Like, I try really hard, first of all, to not put plants anywhere that the kids would be able to eat them. I was thinking of this time when Landon walked past one of these. I think it was one of the figs. He walked past and took a bite of the leaf, and we were like, do we not feed you? Oh, do we not feed you? Why are you eating the plants? Yeah, and he's like, I don't know, am I gonna die? So, you know, if you're worried about kids and animals, you might want to think through your indoor plant options. I know a lot of you say that you have cats, so basically you can't do any indoor plants. In which case, you may want to think about the fake stuff, which you'll want to check out that video in which I tell you what fakes are really good. I hope that this has been helpful for you. I hope that maybe it'll help you sort out which plants you should purchase and which ones you should avoid. I would personally love if you write down in the comments which plants you've had a lot of luck with and which ones you absolutely don't, that you just hate. So I will avoid them, and then other people can read your comments and we can all learn from each other. I think that's super helpful. So thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget, hit subscribe if you haven't already. Give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment, and visit us at Instagram if you have not already. We've got 2 accounts, Valentina Fussell and the House of Valentina. And we will be wrapping up Garden Week with a live event that will be on Instagram and on our Facebook group. So I'll put all the links below. You guys can check it out if you want to join us. But it's supposed to rain, so I'm not sure what's gonna happen, but we'll make sure it's lots of fun. We're gonna hang out, eat some garden themed food, and really enjoy just spending time with you. It's like getting a visit from you guys in our home, and that's why we keep doing them, because we love spending time with you guys, because you're awesome. Thank you again for stopping by for a visit, and we look forward to your next visit. We'll see you then. Bye. I feel bad because honestly,